Libra, how are you? We're looking at your place in the universe. At least we're trying to. I'm trying. It's a huge question. It's multidimensional, and I really don't pretend to have all the answers. It's only a small glimpse into what could be. I also want you to know by choosing the word place, it doesn't have to be literally a physical place, location. It could be a what, a who, a why, a where, and a when, all together or parts of. So stay open-minded, please. I have 3 oracle decks and 1 tarot deck, and we're starting with the oracle. This one. Ancestral realm, karmic release, healing the lineage and boundaries. I'm drawn to the circle of stones, of course. We're gonna keep pulling because I need more cards to develop the message. There's a card that's sort of shifted. I'm gonna take that one. The ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. That's beautifully said. It's happening for you and not to you. I have a French word. We use the verb subir. Subir is when you have no say in the matter and things happen to you. And you have to endure them, you have to cope with them, you have to basically do your best. So it's not that energy, which is great. And it comes from the boundaries that you've established or that you need to establish. I think it's part of creating or finding your place in the universe. It's how you carve out a space for yourself. I'm wondering how, once you've carved your space, Libra, what do you do in that space? Let's look at the tarot for that. Because we have an energy, some cards came out. I'm going to start with those. 6 of Cups in reverse and the 3 of Wands in reverse. This is the Bosch Tarot. Bosch is an artist from the 16th century. So strange drawings, not real humans, and weird landscapes. The cards came out in reverse. Sorry. My nose is really itchy. So I was telling you about the cracked open energy. So once you're in that space, once you've established your boundaries, that's the place where you can actually fully open up. And it's so beautiful. The ever unfolding rose. I think it's such a beautiful add-on to say ever unfolding. So I'm looking at obviously the cards that fell from the tarot deck. I'm gonna draw some more before I speak. The High Priestess and the Four of Wands in reverse. It's interesting because I was quiet for quite a while, right? And then the priestess, the High Priestess came out. It's interesting that once you're in that space where you've basically erected your boundaries, and when you finally feel safe, it is still a place very quiet and where, and you choose to speak few words or fewer words because you're in a place where you, and again, a place, it could be inside your mind, it could be your house, it could be the job or the vocation you choose, right? That's totally opened and variable. But in whatever you do and however it plays out for you, it's a really, really, really heavy, like super deep well of, like, it's a rabbit hole. It's going down the rabbit hole because you study, because you delve deep, you research, you look at things that are most people don't pay attention to or spend time learning, or it's something that you really love. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be something esoteric, even if we have the High Priestess here. It could be something, any kind of field where you would have a lot to learn. Like it could be anatomy, it could be yoga, like a kind of a physical or spiritual discipline. It could be music, it could be anything, you know what I mean? Like it's just a place where you basically you fall into the rabbit hole. I'm gonna look at the other cards now because they're very beautiful energies, but they're all three of them are in reverse. So I wonder if it has to do with setting the boundaries, but I'm a little bit unclear, to be very truthful here, about how I can translate that as your place in the universe. I mean, if I was doing another theme, I could obviously read the cards. I want to say more easily. Right now, I really want to focus on how it could relate to your place in the universe. So please allow me a little bit of reflection, a little time, because it's not easy. Okay, I have something. There's a huge, there's karmic release here on this card, here. And we also see that, you're letting go of past things and past people, your childhood, familiar places, old-time friends. There's a lot of, how can I say this? Part of your place in the universe requires almost a sacrifice. a sacrifice and stability as well. So in terms of where you live or where you have lived in the past with the Six of Cups, with the Four of Wands. It also speaks of letting go of expectations, I want to say that were placed on you by society, not necessarily your own, but obviously also your own. What that means, I wonder, I'm thinking about if you're placed in the universe and how you want to live out your life ultimately. Could also be about a lot of asceticism. I hope I'm saying this right. Asceticism in French. It's the same word in English, but I'm, you know, a little bit like those yogis or people that choose a very simple life on purpose, right? For spiritual reasons of their own. We sense that. I mean, it's the High Priestess here. You know, the boundaries could also be living somewhere maybe less populated. It's possible, but it doesn't have to be. It could be also just living alone. A lot more people nowadays live alone, and this is like through all walks of life and all ages. It's the way society has evolved, especially in the developed countries, right? That was a side note. I'm gonna draw more. My concern here, maybe I shouldn't say concern, but what I'm debating is your place in the universe. Although you study and you learn and you decide to let go of the past or things that were familiar, and you choose a life of maybe of great simplicity and humility, I guess my debate here is you're not sharing this, you're not speaking, right? So I'm wondering if that's something you want. So I do want to draw on that. I'm curious to know if it corresponds to a need. I mean, everything is needed and everyone is needed in their own respect. So there's always a place for someone like you and like this in the universe. I just wonder if you reach so much knowledge, if there's a way you can share. All the while respecting your own space, your own silence, your own time, your boundaries, your space. I'm really gonna let the cards come out. It might take a little while. Okay, what have we got? I'm really curious for you, Libra. I have two cards, the Ace of Wands and the King of Cups. That's interesting. You know, you're not gonna live alone. You're not going to live alone. It's beautiful. You will partner with someone. For me, there's this person is someone who okay, I know the card is in reverse on the Ace of Wands, but because we're looking at your place in the universe, I don't want to read reverse cards that are in reverse as only negative, right? So I am going to sort of pull out of the whole signification of the card, although it's in reverse. But we'll look at all aspects here. Anyway, back to this King of Cups. This person is a initiator. This person is someone with ideas, someone who creates their life, who likes to start things, literally. It's interesting because you're the fifth sign I do out of the series. I never saw necessarily someone in reading this theme, right? But this is clear for me, and you're Libra, so it's amazing to me, because if there's one sign whose purest essence is partnership, it's yours. And I'm so glad that on your journey or on your life path, you get to share your interests. I believe you share your interests with this person who's very caring, who's very deep, who's a great listener, someone who is very compassionate, also very sensual. What I like is that, and don't beat me for it, the person is more sensual than sexual, yet it doesn't mean that there's no sexuality. It's just that the Ace of Wands is in reverse. So it's more a matter of the person is not kind of like, how can I say this? They really make love, you know? They don't just F. I guess it's the best way to say, right? It's the care and the experience and the ambiance and the connection that really, really matters to them. And that is really, really amazing, because for you as a high priestess with boundaries, it's the perfect setting and energy. It's beautiful. I think on your life's path and your own vocation and your own place in the universe, I'm not sure how, and oh, just the piece about the partnership is the ever unfolding rose as well. Like this particular flower, that the love between the two of you will endure and keep unfolding and keep blossoming. I needed to say that before I moved on. And it's a rose, and so there's a lot of love, really, really lots of love here. What's interesting is that the two characters, quote unquote, if I take the High Priestess and the King of Cups, they're both upright. All the other cards, the Six of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands, and the Ace of Wands, they're all in reverse. So there's something about your relationship that, okay, I did say you will live with someone, but now the way I'm really seeing it is I don't think you'll be sharing every moment with this person. So you might not be living 24/7 with this person. I think it's about you'll have a very strong partnership, a love relationship. I think you will exchange ideas and knowledge, specifically, and a lot of tenderness, of course, right? There's truly a physical bond here. Yet, in terms of stability, in terms of the person coming back to you, you know, like the ships arriving, hitting the shore, it'll be sporadic because it's in reverse. The Four of Wands is in reverse. The home life is not the typical home life. There's not necessarily children in this relationship because the Six of Cups is in reverse. So that's a possibility. And for that reason, although I said, you know, it's more of a sensual energy, it's also the fact that it's a start-stop because you're not always in proximity. But you are sharing something incredibly special. And I think that probably your place in the universe, I'm going to say something off the wall here. I think you are well, this person comes to shore to you from a distance, and they drink at your well. I'm seeing all kinds of, like, my mind went in the gutter there for a minute, but it's also, it's the depth of emotions that you possess and the depth of knowledge that you possess. I think that's really important. I think this is your calling. There's something that you are serving this person, and I don't mean that it's only a one-way street, but there's definitely something that you're outpouring due to your own nature and the things that you know and possess, and the qualities, basically the combination of who you are. And this is very attractive to this person. The scent of the rose, you are the fragrance, and this person is attracted to the fragrance and the beauty. And the fact that it's ever unfolding tells me that the flower doesn't, quote unquote, dry and die. So I think it has to do with the fact that you keep nurturing your own qualities. So your well never goes dry. Which will keep this person always coming back to you. But you're quote unquote equipped in terms of, you know, you're able, by having no karmic ties, especially to this person, first of all, you're able to focus your energy on the things that you are really interested in. So you're absolutely fully engaged. Your energy's all in the right place, okay? It's not scattered with connections that are not for your highest good. Connections are things and situations. It doesn't have to be just people. I wanted to say something else and I think I'm forgetting it. Let me think. Yes. You're going to be able to sustain, because of your nature and the boundaries and the fact that you're not karmically relating to this person, you're going to be able to accept the back and forth energy with this person, the distance and the sporadicness. I don't know if that's a word. You know, you're going to be able to It's interesting. It'll happen for you and not to you. I just remember that portion on this card, so that's really, really interesting. Because you will see it in that light. You will see it as it's happening for you and it's the way it's meant to be, instead of saying, well, it's happening to me, this person is not there, or, you know, like having the expectations of the usual expectations. I think I touched on that earlier, way earlier, about you're not like the typical you're a little bit outside the norm here in terms of, I guess, even your choice of path, and maybe this particular way of seeing life and being able to receive this relationship, allow this relationship, welcome this relationship in this way. Let's draw out of the last oracle deck. I mean, it doesn't tell me much of the, it tells me a little bit of the what you're doing. It tells me with who. It's really interesting. I hope something resonates, Libra. Let me pull. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, it's in French. Excuse me. L'éveilleur. L'éveilleur is like the awakener, okay? So the person who... so the keywords, though, are a bit more drastic. It's shock, crisis. It's also bouleversement. How do you... I'm not sure how to translate that word. Anyways, it means also, it says important modifications in terms of power, I guess, power relationships, or within, you know, relationships. Unpredictability and being awakened, like with lots of noise. It's hard to translate, and I don't want to be too literal, but so you can see it's like thunder. It's a little bit of a tower energy, but really the fact that it's an awakener, and there's a lot of red, and the card out of all of these cards on the table, the one with the red is the High Priestess. I can show you again really, really quickly. You know, these cards, there's not much red, and there's not much red here either. So truly, the High Priestess, look at that. You even have the book on top of, like, this hat or book. It's almost like this red dot here. It's and the white veil, it's like the lightning, and all the red in the back, it's all of this table. It's really crazy. So remember how I told you, Libra, that you were the one that was feeding this person with sort of, I guess, I want to say your psychic abilities, your knowledge, emotions as well. I don't want to discount that at all. And I think that some of the electricity is your own attractiveness, and I want to say the way you're able to seduce, right? And so the power of attraction, this person, that basically the electric current that you two share, both physical, emotional, well, not both, at all levels. I really want to say all levels here. It's so interesting the way the two cards are so, like the drawing, like the colors, it's weird. And yet it's fascinating. I love that. So I think you're this energy. I think you are, and remember how I was kind of concerned about, like, you weren't going to talk because it's the High Priestess. And I was like, well, if you have all this knowledge, how are you going to share? And then basically, it's amazing that you share through this one person, or to this one person. Yet it feels like, the way it comes to me, it's like, you know, you share to one person, but this person might be someone that is able in turn to share with more people. They wouldn't share necessarily directly what you've shared with them, but you inspire them in a way that what they have to share then feeds or impacts others. So that's really, really beautiful. I call that a real energy exchange, of when, you know, no energy is lost ever. I love that. It's so beautiful. I really hope something resonated for you, Libra. If it did, do share the video. Give me a thumbs up, of course. That'd be sweet. Subscribe if you haven't, but mostly I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Good night.